What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again on another MLB The Show 20 Diamond Dynasty video. Today we're going to talk about Showdown. Showdown is so important. It is going to help you out in so many facets of this game, whether it be the inning programs or it be the team affinities. You're going to get a ton of rewards from doing Showdown. Problem is, it is kind of difficult. I finished it, as you guys can see over right here with the programs. You're going to see Showdown completed. So today I'm going to give you guys tips on how to better play Showdown, how to beat it easier, and how to beat it faster. But before we get into that one, make sure to leave a like down below on this video if you guys do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys have not yet on the channel. I've been grinding really hard to come out with some great content for you guys. Had a ton of tips videos already. Make sure and check those out if you haven't, but definitely make sure and subscribe. This is going to be the place for a ton, everything MLB The Show 20. But go ahead and talk about Showdown now. So specifically, I'm going to talk about the first inning one, but this does apply to pretty much all the Showdowns that are available. So the first thing I want to talk about is the entry fees. Do not be discouraged whatsoever about the entry fees. 500 stubs is really nothing, and then the divisionals are going to be 1,000 stub entry fee. Do not be discouraged. You are going to possibly lose out on stubs. Let's just say, for example, you could only beat these three. That's only 700 stubs that you lose out on. That is really not a big deal. And if you progress in it, because you'll probably beat the first mini boss, the rewards are heavily going to outweigh the cost. Let's talk about drafting. I've already beat this, but I'll spend 500 stubs for nothing. So for the first inning program in particular, you're always going to get this same exact round. It's going to have the three bosses, Helton, Snyder, and Oswald, and then Javier Baez. I would always pick Todd Helton. For what I have noticed, and for this one in particular, the final showdown is going to be on All-Star difficulty. I would rather have that contact, that 99 contact and mid 70s power both ways, opposed to Duke Schneider only being able to hit righties and not doing very well against lefties. I think Todd Helton's definitely the way to go. My overall philosophy on how I draft is I heavily favor my offense over pitching and fielding, because more so in Showdown you're gonna have hitting ones, and all the mini bosses and all the the final showdown is gonna have to do with simply hitting. It has nothing to do with fielding or anything else. So I'm really going to stack that side of the ball. Right here I'll pick Charlie Blackmon. Not good defensively, but we're not going to have to do that all that often. Here we have Michael Brantley. Paul Goldschmidt's a really good one. I'm going to go ahead and pick him right here. I only pick one starter and I only pick one reliever because that is all you need. If we were to, I'm not sure if we actually can. I'll show you after this is done, but you only need one starter. You're only ever going to use your top starter from what I have played so far, and you're only going to need one good reliever because you don't really play full games. You're playing moments where it's finish this game off at the end, or strike out this one batter at the end. So that's what I have found personally. Eloy Jimenez, ton of power. That's really what I look for. If you ever get Miguel Sano, pick Miguel Sano. That is such a big improvement on what you could have. Here we have Fultonevich. I usually look for hit 9 as my primary stat, because that's going to, in simulation standpoint, that is going to help you out the most. The lower the hit 9, the higher chance that they are going to get a hit off you. Dylan Betances is going to be my one closer I'll pick up. Then once again, all starters right here. Carlos Carrasco has really low hit 9, otherwise I would pick him. I don't really want Mike Minor. He's not the best, but I guess I'm gonna pick him in case we don't get another good starting pitcher. And then finally here, obviously, keep in mind, just like in Battle Royale, don't pick the same position you already have. Who's the best option here? Nobody really great. I guess I'm going to pick Tim Anderson because he has good contact all the way around. Perks. Perks is another big thing. I always try to get offensive quirks when I can and figure out which ones are the best. The best one, in my opinion, is Heart Attack, which is going to be increased contact boost when you're losing, which is all the final showdowns and mini bosses. So that is really important. Inner Peace is great. So is Defibrillator. The pitching ones, I just personally don't find them to be that good. And then When It Rains in particular, a lot of times you aren't winning, so there's not a whole big big point to have this one. I would personally pick probably Defibrillator right here. It's going to help me out a ton. And then we have Lifeline, Jumpstart. Jumpstart's a really good one as well. So I am going to pick Jumpstart actually, because for the final showdown in the mini bosses, you don't play on innings, so that last one wouldn't have had any effect on me whatsoever. Make sure equip your perks. You have to do it if you don't know that. And also, once you get new rounds within Showdown, you have to plug them into your lineup. The first time I played, I didn't know that. I was like, where the hell is Trout? I drafted Trout. Trout wasn't on my team. I had to put him within there. And always take a look at what your next moment you're going to play is and adjust your perks accordingly. If it's going to be a pitching one and you've taken a pitching perk, make sure and put it in, because otherwise you got it for no reason. So make sure and do that. As far as these go, a big question a lot of people are going to have is, when do you skip? Do you skip? What is the best way to do that? Because you're down 15 runs. You do have different pitchers you're going to face. I got kind of lucky. I faced German Marquez of the Colorado Rockies. I know that is a possibility. Kenley Jansen's a possibility, and I believe this would be Roy Oswalt on All-Star difficulty, down 15 runs. I really don't recommend that unless you're a top player. I don't think that's the best way to go. What I personally do is I go up to about the second mini boss, which, remember, if you fail a mini boss, you lose your whole showdown run. You have to start over from square one, and you have to draft a whole new team, just as it would be if you lost in Battle Royale. What I do is I go up to that. So if I were to win all of these, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 9 runs that I would get up to this possibility that I could fail. And at that point, it's 6 runs on 15 outs on All-Star difficulty, which I think is definitely obtainable, because at that point you're going to get some more rounds, you're going to get some better players. And once again, I still think, especially for the first inning, you really just want to keep grabbing offensive players. If you already have a good starter, if you already have a good reliever, maybe upgrade to a gold from a silver what you have. For example, what I have right now, I'm probably fine with Dylan Betances. I wouldn't take another reliever, but I probably would pick a gold starting pitcher over Mike Minor, because I just think he's not that good. I'd rather have somebody else there. For this one, for example, Roy is my boy. This one, you were going to tally 2 extra base hits and 1 home run in the first 3 innings of the game to earn 2 silver perks for your Showdown squad. Overall, the most important thing that I would have to say once you're in these games, especially in the bosses and the showdowns, is be patient. That is the big thing. They will never replace their pitcher, especially in a, final boss. They never replace their pitcher. It is always the same guy. Meaning that you can really drain them in stamina. You can really drain them in confidence. The more balls you make them throw, the less confidence and the less stamina they're going to have, which is going to make them throw a ball right down the middle. Really, I would say keep trying and going until they throw a fastball. If it's, a breaking ball on a 0-1 count, don't swing at it, because you're not probably going to hit it unless it's down the middle, unless you can feel it. You already know when you're in the moment, there's certain pitches that are on the black. Don't swing at those, especially if it is like a 1-0, 2-0 count. Be patient, work counts. That is going to be your biggest friend. And once you start really nailing them, that's what happened when I was in this one, because I had lost. Remember, I said I quit up until this mini boss. I stopped after this moment. I only had 7. I was down 8 runs, so I lost a couple, obviously. So I still thought it was worth it to just go ahead and do it. And once I started hitting him, I was hitting him. He lost confidence and he kept throwing pitches down the middle or very inaccurately and kept throwing balls, and it really helped me out. Another thing you need to know for the final showdown, you have to put in your best players. Put in a outfielder at catcher. Why? Because it doesn't make a difference. You're not playing in the field. Absolutely. If you've acquired guys, if you have enough players that you've drafted, that you have good players on your bench, put them into your team. Put Paul Goldschmidt at catcher if you do have to, because it will not matter. You're not fielding, you're only hitting. Also, make sure that you have one good guy afterwards on the bench to take out your pitcher with. Once again, you only have to do this once. It is not based on inning, it's based on outs. So once I pinch hit Mike Minor with hopefully somebody better than Ryan McBroom or Tyler Stevenson, though they're going to be in there the whole time. So you really have pretty much a designated hitter and an absolute stacked lineup. So I really recommend you do that. At some point you have to consider, yep, I already have great outfielders all throughout. They're all golds or diamonds, but I'm still going to pick him because he's the best offensive player and positions don't matter in the mini bosses or the final showdown. So that is very important. So yeah, that is what I would recommend. I quit around here. If you feel comfortable, if you feel confident, or if you don't feel confident that your team is good enough, or if you failed a bunch of these prior, then I would say keep moving on and try to get a couple extra runs closer, because you get a Diamond Live Series player, you get a gold and a gold perk, you get a diamond perk right here, which are going to be very helpful. And one more thing that I really have to mention that I cannot stress enough, and this was a tough pill for me to swallow when I was playing Showdown, because it took me a couple times until I beat it. You know, I beat this one, and I beat one for the AL West. I'm on my second run for it right now. The biggest thing you're gonna have to realize and learn: stop whining like a little bitch. That is the biggest and most important thing I can say to you. If you keep getting pissed off and upset, because especially in these showdowns, it can be because you know how it is, you'll keep getting outs, they keep happening, and it's really annoying, and it seems like you're not going to win. Just stay calm, stay collected. If you start raging like I have before, it's only going to make it that much harder. So just try and stay calm. Realize, in my position, I was getting mad and I still had 11 outs to go. Like, what am I doing? I still have plenty more time and I have a stacked lineup. So just calm down. And one final thing that I have to mention that I kind of forgot to tell you: in these mini bosses and in the final showdown, do not hit ground balls. If you have somebody on base, make sure to not hit ground balls. Remember, you have your PCI. I'll just jump into a game really quick to show you. You have your PCI, you have the fly ball, the line drive, and the ground ball. Obviously, you're not always going to be completely perfect. Otherwise, everybody would be able to hit everything. Everybody would hit 1,000. You know, that just makes sense. But if there's somebody on base, really try to hit line drives or try to hit it in the air, because if you hit it on the ground, that can be a double play. And that is very tough to swallow, because if you have a double play, that's 2 outs and you no longer have somebody on base. A big part in Showdown, see, here's what I mean about the 3 different levels. Always try, get a fly ball, try to hit a line drive if you are trying to, if you do have somebody on base. So that is very important. Don't do what I just did right there. Keep calm, keep looking, and stay patient for what pitches you have, and you're not going to ground out like me. And there we go. That's going to do it for this video. Those are my tips for Showdown. I promise you, if you take the things that I said into this video into account, you are going to have such an easier time within the Showdown game mode. And overall, you know, I kind of overstepped what I had first thought about team affinities not being the best for using Showdown. Once you get it down, it is a lot easier. Once you're into the groove, once you know how to draft, once you know what time you should quit and how many outs you need to come back from that you're comfortable with, you're going to be able to do it, and you can repeat these and keep farming team affinity program points. And that's definitely what I'm going to be doing. If you guys have any more questions about Showdown, any more help that you guys need, I'll try and give you any more assistance that I have learned throughout my time playing it. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a like down below. Like I said, subscribe if you all are new to the channel. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. There goes Miss Audi. Yeet.